EXONUMIA is basically anything that is coin-like, or it may even involve a coin, but it's not quite a coin. Okay. So it's an encased postage stamp. So the Chicago's World's Fair in 1893.
This is wild, man. Kind of looks like me when I just got out of the shower.
Hello, Silver fans. This is T, and you're in the place to be for Silver education, acquisition, and entertainment. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody.
You know, one of the benefits of living in Northwest Indiana is its proximity to the world-class city of Chicago. Hey, I am heading up to make a coin shop video, and if you enjoy coin shop videos, be sure to subscribe because I sure do make a bunch of them. And if you enjoyed today's video, be sure to hit that like button as well. I'm heading to Harlan J. Berk in downtown Chicago. Okay, Russ, hey, every time I come up here, you've got something interesting to show me. What's in that red tray there?
So this is my tray that I put in our buyer bid sale, which we're pretty well known for.
Okay.
Basically, we do a sale once every 2 months, so about 6 times a year.
Okay.
And it's mainly world and ancient coins, but I've started putting in American EXONUMIA.
Okay, so EXONUMIA, I've heard you mention that phrase before, that word, at the coin club that we belong to, and describe what EXONUMIA is.
So EXONUMIA is basically anything that is coin-like, or it may even involve a coin, but it's not quite a coin. Okay. So what we're talking about is we're talking about tokens, medals, stuff like that is EXONUMIA.
Okay. And what are some of the examples that you have?
Yeah, sure. So I think probably one of the most interesting places to start with would be here.
That one caught my eye when you pulled that tray out.
That is an encased postage stamp. So basically during the Civil War, there was a huge coin shortage. There was no hard money around. So people were trying to find any way to get change. And so one of the ways that they did it was with encased postage stamps. So you could have denominations from 1 cent to, I believe, 10 cent. But they were literally postage stamps that were put into a usually a brass container, and then that what looks like glass or plastic over it, that's actually very, very thinly sliced mica, the mineral mica.
Wow.
So sliced incredibly thin so it's transparent, and then put into it to keep the postage stamp safe. And so that one's actually from here in Chicago.
Yeah, I noticed that.
But they showed up pretty much everywhere in the north.
Tremont House?
It was a hotel.
Okay.
So merchants were basically making these so that they could provide change and stimulate commerce in their city.
That's wild, man.
Yeah, so these are really, really cool. They're not quite a coin, but they circulated like a coin.
How did anybody make something like that with the technology that was available back then?
It's really impressive when you realize that that film that looks like plastic is a mineral. I don't know how in the world they did it, but I mean, you got to give them credit for what they did.
Yeah. What else you got?
So
quite the variety there.
Yeah, I mean, I have kind of everything on here. So then some of my favorite stuff is encased coins. So you see these a lot even today. But what's cool, like especially for that one is from the 1904 St. Louis World's Fair, the Lewis and Clark Exposition.
Okay.
So that's the next World's Fair that was held here in the States. And so it has a 1904 Indian cent in it. It's in great condition. It's an aluminum case.
Yeah.
So those are super cool.
Yeah, very different. Of course.
Very different.
Chicago's World's Fair is the most famous and the best ever, but people forget there were World's Fairs held in New York as well.
So there was New York, Chicago a couple times, St. Louis. There was the Pan America Exposition. So speaking of...
Looks like you got an assist from the side
I did get an assist. Speaking of the St. Louis World's Fair...
Someone who doesn't want to be on camera right at this particular time, but maybe in the future someday.
Speaking of the Columbian Exposition, here's another piece of EXONUMIA that doesn't technically involve a coin, but it involves like a medal. So this is what we call a box medal.
Okay. And
it actually opens up, and it has 2 period photographs from the Chicago's World's Fair in 1893.
This is wild, man. And All right, so...
Yep, and then it literally just snaps back together. And then you could wear it like a locket, or, you know, you could put it on a chain for like a watch fob. Kind of anything, really.
That is really wild.
Yeah, so they sold souvenirs. Most of the stuff that I have here is going to be stuff that was basically sold as souvenirs at World's Fairs, or, you know, stuff like that.
So I'm seeing stuff that I think is so cool. Like, I'm wondering what the price is. Is there a huge collector's market for these things?
Yeah.
Are they astronomically expensive?
So for a lot of this stuff, you can get into it for less than $200.
Okay.
Sometimes less than $100. A good example of something that's less than like $200 would be like, or shoot, here. This is something that's probably even less than $100.
Okay.
That is from the 1933 World's Fair that was held here in Chicago.
Kind of looks like me when I just got out of the shower. What do you think, Mrs. T? Can you see that?
So.
Yeah, see the resemblance.
So that's from the 1933's World Fair. That's called a so-called dollar. So-called dollars are basically close to silver dollar sized pieces that were made for things like World's Fairs.
Yeah.
They have a very big collectible market. People are very, very interested in them. That one is cool because it's very Art Deco. It's the 1930s. It's not a particularly rare one, but something like this is probably around $75. They're not terribly, terribly expensive. But then, like, other so-called dollars get a little bit more pricey. This guy is from the St. Louis World's Fair in 1904, again.
Okay.
That's really cool. It has a very interesting story. Basically, this guy that was not affiliated with the World's Fair at all was going to sell these, and it's a souvenir admissions ticket.
Oh my gosh.
And his gimmick was that, so they're all individually numbered too, and his gimmick was that if you bought one, you also were put into an entry for a lottery that would win, I believe it was $10,000, which 1904 is an astronomical sum. He did not sell a whole lot of them, and the lottery never happened.
Yeah, no,
So-
big surprise there.
Big surprise there, didn't happen.
Was it because he was in jail, or?
I don't know that he went to jail. He just, never came to fruition.
But did people buy those thinking that was their ticket to get into the World's Fair?
Some people
and
did,
then
yeah.
Found out
Yeah, there was
otherwise at the gate?
Yeah, there was
Man.
some disconnect there. There was a lot of shady stuff with this kind of stuff. But so outside of that realm, this is a really cool piece. So this is not an original piece. This is a restrike. This would have been struck in the 1940s.
It's heavy.
It is. It's silver, and it's a reproduction of a piece medal. Now, piece medals have been given out, or were given out from the very first president. George Washington gave them out, and what a peace medal is, they were literally, every president would have their own design, and they would give them to friendly Native American tribes, to tribal elders, or anybody that they were working on a treaty with.
Okay.
And they were given as a sign of peace and friendship between the people of the United States and whatever tribe it was.
Oh boy.
Yeah, the originals were done
mixed
in
emotions
yeah.
about those, the way those folks were treated. Maybe.
As do I. But the originals were done in silver, and then the Mint kept making them in bronze for a long time. And then in the 1940s, actually a private individual was like, I would really like a silver one. And the Mint was like, you provide the silver, we'll make you one.
Oh, really?
So they did a few of those.
That was actually made by the Mint?
Yes, yeah, this was struck by the Mint.
Okay.
The Mint is very good at restriking things. They actually still strike to this day a version of this metal.
Huh. Hey, I see another, I don't know if that's a token there from the World's Fair with the Ferris wheel?
Yes, this is fun. So this is actually from the California Midwinter Exposition, which was held in 1894.
Oh.
Now, the Ferris wheel only debuted in 1893 at the Chicago's World's Fair.
That's right.
But it was so unbelievably popular that they started making them almost immediately, and that's from just a year later at another exposition. This one wasn't a World's Fair.
Okay.
A lot of times regional places would put on their own regional fairs.
Yeah.
So that's the California Midwinter Exposition of 1894.
I'll be darned. When I saw it from a distance, I thought of Navy Pier and Chicago World's Fair and Ferris wheel, and it came later, huh?
Yeah. But so what's fun about EXONUMIA for me, I've never been an EXONUMIA person, but I kind of got thrown into it here, and I found I absolutely love it because what it really is research and kind of trying to find stuff.
Yeah.
This is a really cool metal that I really, really like.
I'm sure you'll learn a lot of history.
Oh, yeah.
I know you're a history buff.
So
here we go.
That's a medal from Theodore Roosevelt.
Yeah, okay,
After he was done as president, he was doing a lot of speaking tours. That is from the Vermont get-together in 1911.
Okay.
Researching the event, there were 500 tickets sold. And it was, local businessmen and youth and, young leaders and things like that attended. In all of my research over the months, there is exactly one mention of that medal in any literature. Wow. And it's from an article in the Numismatist in 1958. And that's it.
No kidding.
So this is a really cool one. I don't know hardly anything about it yet. But it's silvered bronze, and it's a super fun project. And I think the art is great. So
that kind of makes me wonder, how in the world do you even price this stuff? Is it just like out of thin air based on the rarity?
Some of it can be that, but to be very honest, heritage auction galleries and stacks regularly do EXONUMIA. And so you can kind of get a gauge for what they've been selling. And what this business really is you've got to figure out what someone is willing to pay for something.
Yeah.
And so it's really just looking at auction records, and it's looking at private sales, and it's just figuring out what is a fair price for the piece that I have.
Show me one more piece. I got to see.
Yeah.
I mean, this is fascinating, man. I'm sure probably have cabinets.
Oh, here you go.
Stuff.
This is a really cool one. This is an 1864 Abraham Lincoln token. That is directly issued by his campaign.
Okay.
So that is a re-election souvenir, basically, given out by the Abraham Lincoln campaign.
Is that hold?
Somebody started drilling a hole in it, yes, but they never finished it.
Look at that. Maybe some kid and his mom yelled at him or something like that.
So my guess is somebody was probably going to turn it into a pendant. That was a very popular thing, especially after Lincoln was assassinated. Lincoln stuff just took off. Everybody was making Lincoln stuff.
Never seen anything where someone started the hole and didn't finish it.
Just never quite finished it.
Yeah. Well, that's fascinating. Thanks for giving me a little glimpse into the world of EXONUMIA.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to keep an eye out for this stuff as I traverse the various coin shops that I visit. Hey, thanks, Russ.
Always.
Folks, all right. We had to start rolling again because off camera I started asking you more questions because I'm curious. Tell me again what this is.
This is a complete set of tickets from the 1893 World's Fair. These are completely unused. What's really cool about these is they look like money.
No gloves on your hands?
No.
I mean, okay.
They look like money because they were printed by the American Banknote Company.
Wow.
And so the same artists that were doing currency were designing these tickets.
They made Mexican currency too.
They did. The American Banknote Company made currency for a lot of people.
Well, this is before the day and age of StubHub, that's for sure.
Oh, yes. So what's cool about this collection, it is literally a complete run of all of the different ticket designs, including this is a child's ticket from Chicago Day.
Yeah.
And it still has its coupon on it, so it's completely unused.
I wonder what you got with the coupon. A hot
So
dog?
that was just your admission.
Oh,
so
okay.
they would take it. They would take these as they would take your ticket from you at admission, except for the ones that have coupons on them.
Okay.
Yeah, so these are just super cool because, like I said, they're printed by the American Banknote Company. They have incredible designs. You've got Washington, you've got Franklin, you've
here's
got
my
Lincoln.
favorite right here.
There you go. You've even got...
this is my guy right here. Good old Benjamin Franklin.
Yeah, but even this
go
stuff
figure.
is really considered EXONUMIA because it is, it's not money, but it's very money-like, and it was printed by somebody that printed money. And printed in the exact same way that currency was printed. So,
all right. Well, hey, thanks again, man.
Always.
Now, before I show you what I purchased, special shout out and thank you to these channel members who support my efforts to bring you videos just like this one. And thank you for watching. I really appreciate your viewership. Now, let me show you what I got. Hey, a little piece of Chicago history here. Take a close look. It is from the World's Columbian Exposition, the World's Fair, 1893, a particular area of history that interests me. And take a look at this little love token. It is a dime from 1892 with the initials LCR. Those happen to be my father's initials, and this little dime will go on my mother's keyring. Hey, what a fun visit with Russ. Very educational. Thanks for watching.